Hello buddy and welcome, I'm Common Cam, and today we're going to be updating every Ratchet design from worst to best. And who better to join me than Dumb Jake himself.
Yeah, that's me. I'm Dumb Jake. Hi.
I feel really bad for calling you Dumb Jake. I know it's your username.
Everybody says that. I don't care.
I wish I could just say, hey, I'm with Jake.
Please, Dumb Jake, for my brand integrity, Common Cam.
He's not that dumb, he's actually pretty smart. Does Ratchet in particular have any sort of attachment to you at all?
I mean, he was in the 07 movie, and that's huge for me. And I did have the G1, a reissue of the G1 toy as a kid.
Oh, just wait until we get to that one.
Hop off, Ratchet.
So without further ado, let's just dive straight into the tier names. And first up, of course, had to be...
So, we're just gonna go help Jack and Miko finish their...
Without my supervision? You want them to be right, don't you? Then watch a master at work.
Control freak.
And now for the second tier.
Team Prime knows when to use force. And how much to use.
Bulkhead, I needed that!
Enough.
And now for the middle tier.
The secret is out! This is our war now, and we will win it as we always have. With a coordinated military strategy.
This fool is terribly misinformed.
And now for the fourth tier.
We will respect your decision if you wish to leave.
No point in long goodbyes, here's the door.
And now finally, for the worst tier.
And inspiring countless generations of robots yet to come online. What a load of scrap metal.
First up, we have Generation 1 Ratchet, and he's very different compared to his original Generation 1 toy. Yeah, the designers had a lot to do with him to make him look like an actual robot. So originally, he was just a station wagon meant for armory. And when it came to the cartoon, they were like, well, this isn't going to work. So they had to radically change him, both him and Ironhide. And I gotta say, that original G1 toy is...
epic.
An abomination. I hate it. I really, really, really hate it.
No, it's cool. It's a perfect representation of my favorite character, Ratchet.
Why are you lying?
As a toy, it's a fun toy. It does its job. The lack of a face is, you know, an issue for sure.
And listen up, you overgrown vacuum cleaner! That trash heap wasn't there when I parked it!
And how is that my fault?
I will say that. He's a weird toy, but he's a fun toy.
I've already put it in the second lowest tier, it doesn't matter. Where would we place Generation 1 Ratchet? Because I think, yes, it's a simplistic design, but it works so well. It's what's made him iconic throughout these years.
Isn't he like violating the Geneva Convention though with those Red Cross?
Just a little bit.
A little Geneva Convention is okay.
We don't talk about that copyright that he has. Now talking about the Marvel Comics Ratchet, the only thing I like about this is that his head is red. I wish he was a redhead in the cartoon.
I've never heard the words redhead said so many times in a row. I like his red hands because it's like he got blood on them during surgery.
Yeah, he's a bit of a psychopath. We have the absolute abomination that is Mega Ratchet.
It's barbaric. There ought to be a law against it.
A master at work. Greatest design ever.
Are you serious? Okay, I'm gonna be civil. I think the perfect combination of both worlds would be the IDW Infiltration Ratchet.
Yeah, I love the kibble on him. I love when a Transformer has visible kibble, and he just looks so much more filled out and more interesting. I love the early IDW / like Dreamwave, which I think may be a little bit of a controversial opinion, but that's how I feel, okay? That's how I feel. Leave me alone. Let me live. Let me live, Common Cam. Get off my back, man.
Guys, I said nothing. I was I held my breath throughout all of that. Okay, something to cheer you up. We have the Q Ratchet.
Yes, I love him. I love Q Transformers. They're so adorable. S rank all the way. I love these little bastards.
Ratchet actually laughed?
Well, what about the Creo Ratchet?
What a load of scrap metal for me.
Really?
You're only good for one thing. Garbage!
Not a Creo guy. Not a Creo guy at all.
Okay, I'm gonna have to fight you on this. Now let's talk about the G.I. Joe Ratchet.
He must turn into a hiss tank, right?
Yes, I did, and no, I still don't want to talk about it.
Maybe the treads give it away.
Yeah.
It's not a bad design, just the head of Ratchet doesn't fit.
Like, this is a cooler looking hiss tank transformer than the actual one they made.
The head should have just been a Decepticon.
Yeah, I'd put it in the bottom tier, to be honest.
So it's Energon tow line with Ratchet's head.
If Ratchet was going to be anybody from the Energon toy line, it should be Tow Line, since Tow Line has the exact same gimmick as G1 Ratchet. The blue is like kind of weird to me for Ratchet. I feel like those should be red or something.
The tow line toy looks really ugly.
I had that one as a kid and I loved it. It was another toy you think is ugly, I loved.
Damn you, poor kid.
Bruh.
If it works, it probably needs a long extension cord. I wonder if batteries are included.
Alright, next up we have another G.I. Joe Ratchet, and this one, I don't know, his chest looks like he's got someone trapped inside him.
Yeah. He looks cool. I mean, that's a kind of a cool look. I like the bars on his chest. Maybe terribly misinformed for me. Not bad. Looks cool.
Alright, next up we have the More Than Meets the Eye comic, and I gotta say, I really do dig this.
Bruh, I hate it.
What?
I do not like this.
Sir, explain yourself before I scream.
I don't know, he just looks a little bit weird and bulky. I just like the big shoulder pads. I don't know. But I don't think it's terrible. I just, not my type of Ratchet.
I will say that the waist is a little bit off-putting.
I think you should rank it, because I don't think my opinion's good.
Alright, next up is the War Within Ratchet. I don't care for the vehicle mode, but I like that they've swapped around sort of the windshield. You know, he's got it on the back instead of Ironhide, who has it on the front. That's one way to separate them.
Okay, I kind of dig the one shoulder pauldron, almost red cross that he has. And I do like the windscreen over his head. That's just that's the type of stuff I love about Transformers. It's just weird stuff like that, and I like it.
It's just the chest that's really boring to me.
Yeah.
What do I look like? A taxi service for unprocessed protoforms?
Next up is Hearts of Steel, and I love these designs, and I'm so glad we're going to be finally getting toys of them, so let's hope we get one of Ratchet.
Yeah, I love this design. It's nice and blocky. I love how the feet look, which sounds weird coming now that I heard it coming up, but I love his feet, man. I love Ratchet's feet. Just the gears and stuff in it, and the way it folds up on his foot just looks so cool. Just tons of kibble, but it doesn't look too crazy to me. It almost makes him look like a knight. I like that.
How's it humming?
Did he just?
Alright, to end off the G1 era of Ratchet, we'll have the shitty bot shots one.
I wish I liked you more, bot shots Ratchet.
No bot stepping on anyone!
Next up is Transformers Universe, and this is simply a redeco of X-Brawn.
Yeah, X-Brawn unfortunately is one of the messier looking Transformers in that line. So not super high on the list for me.
That all you got? You're gonna put me to sleep.
I'll put you to sleep, all right.
Next up is Transformers Animated Ratchet, one of my personal favourites. Yes, we had him in 2007, but this one is more aligned to the Generation 1 aesthetic, and I just love this cranky old warbot. I like the different ideas that Derek was flirting with, but I think the final result is just amazing, and his Cybertronian mode is just one of the best.
Animated is my goat for sure. I also love the Cybertronian forms. That was kind of almost my favorite part of the show, was whoa, they bothered to give them Cybertronian forms. That's so cool.
Now, there were some homages to the live action movies. We have the Rescue Ratchet, which I don't think it suits this animated design.
The bright yellow it's like yellow-green. It's such a weird color. But I will say, as an animated fan, I always wanted this figure.
Young bots. Can't live with them. Can't melt them down for spare parts.
Well, we also have the Season 4 concept idea. Probably wouldn't have happened, they just wanted to please the executives because of the Dark of the Moon movie going off at the time. I kinda do like the Season 4 concept, but it just makes no sense for the character to just suddenly switch colours.
I'm sure they would have come up with some BM to explain it.
Trust me, kid, you're better off not knowing.
Also in 2007 was the first live-action movie Ratchet, and I gotta say, I love this design.
Our medical officer, Ratchet. The boy's pheromone level suggests he wants to mate with the female.
I like the fact that he's a Hummer, that he's a search and rescue. I just think the vehicle, even though it's customized, just works so perfectly, and I just love this. I love everything about this design. I like the face. Even though it's nothing we're familiar with, it still feels like Ratchet.
Yeah, I've always liked this design for Ratchet. I especially like in the movie when he transforms and you can like see his body twist all the way around when he transforms. I feel like I like the head sculpt because as a kid, I bought the toys and I would always look at the little like picture of their heads because it was such good detail and like you could actually see it, unlike in the movie. Being a different color, even though it's a interesting shade of green, is nice.
See, as a kid, I always thought he was just yellow.
Wait, I'm confused. He's yellow?
Yeah, there's been like a debate among fans on what exactly his color scheme is. It's very much a greenish yellow. Like if there's a light green and then there's some yellow in parts, it's just overall a bit confusing.
I've been asked this many times. I think I just have a lower IQ when it comes to looking at color.
Well, they definitely made the green more apparent in the Dark of the Moon film.
I have no opinion on Green Ratchet, I guess. I'm a Yellow Ratchet guy.
Ratchet! Let him go, Mixmaster. Sure thing.
Well, surprisingly enough, I don't think the Bayverse Ratchet design works with the G1 colours. I liked it in the Revenge of the Fallen game as a bonus, but yeah, no, I don't think the red and white works with this.
I like it as like a toy repaint, but as like an actual design, not really. I think it's a fun like what if sort of thing. As an actual design, I'm like, I like what they did with the movie better.
Now when it comes to the early concept ideas, they did try and lean more to that Generation 1 aesthetic, but I gotta say I don't think it works in this case, at least for me. I'm not a fan of the red, the head sculpt is a huge miss for me, and the arms as well. Yeah, I just don't vibe with it.
Dude, I love these concept art like version. I love this head sculpt. This is exactly the type of aesthetic I want from a live action Transformers movie.
Ironhide, we should leave this planet.
Is something that looks a bit complicated, but is actually simple. Like, simple enough to draw for a child, perhaps, but not super simple. Like, his eyes especially look really cool to me. They almost look like they're closed, I guess. And I like the vehicle he turns into as well.
I get what you're saying, but no.
I give up. You're the professional.
I guess we could talk about his Cybertronian mode in the comics, and I don't like this. I'm not bothered.
I don't care. I don't care how this guy looks.
Right, moving on to the line continuity, and we'll start off with the High Moon Studios design, and I love this design so much. It's one of my favorite Ratchets of all time. I love everything about it. That's why I customized my Studio Series Ratchet, just to match that paint job. And yeah, the shoulders is the massive heat of contention though, because in each game they change. So in War for Cybertron they have the classic heartbeat symbol, and then in Fall of Cybertron they don't, and then there's some areas that are just painted red and they aren't. So he's had a little bit of change up. It's a little bit confusing when it comes to the game model and the concept art, but I overall love this design.
I'm not a big fan of War for Cybertron.
What?
He's insane.
They're charming to me because they're like Xbox 360 era graphics. So they've got like that kind of look. I wish it was blockier, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's what I want. I want a blockier look. I've got Gamer Edition, Starscream, and Optimus, and that's helped me appreciate their designs more. And I might have Ratchet too. I think he's in a box in my closet, actually.
Oh, you are on thin ice.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Do you think they'll hate me because I don't like War for Cybertron designs?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to protect you.
You're a hero, commented Cam.
Next up is Transformers Prime Ratchet, a very different take from what we're familiar with, but still very similar. I like the art style of Prime. I think this aesthetic works perfectly. I like the windows on the chest, and I like the heartbeat on his forearms, and the wheels and the kneecaps just look so sharp. Now there is a bit of a debate on if he's red or orange. The concept art shows him as a more orangey color, but in some scenes of the show he's definitely red. It just depends on the lighting and the animation. I mean, Optimus Prime is red, and when you compare him next to Ratchet, it's just not the same color. It's just like a different shade of a... It's a blend of orangey red.
People think he's orange? Am I colorblind? Yeah, I like his Prime design. Prime's interesting because I look at Prime Ratchet and I'm just like, how are those doors on your chest right now? How did they get there?
My pistons may be rusty, but my hearing is sharp as ever.
Ooh, I like the little antennas on the back. I like it. I would put it in like the second to top tier.
I don't think the Doc would be happy that we put him second.
Please don't call me Doc.
Whatever you say, sunshine.
Alright, next up we have an interesting one, which I didn't cover last time. It is Ratchet from the early concept ideas of Transformers Prime, when it was called Robots in Disguise. And we've got a lot of influences here, very heavily inspired by Dark of the Moon Ratchet with the green. But what I find interesting is the windshield, that's very G1 inspired.
I don't really like it that much, but I do like the face windshield. It does remind me of the G1 toy. Maybe it's a reference, I can't really tell, but if it is, that's cool.
Now in the Ultimate Pop-Up Universe book, Ratchet from Prime looks very different. He's got a completely brand new chest, yet he's still got the same arms and head and everything. I don't know why they did this, just for simplicity's sake maybe.
I don't like it.
Well, something that can go right in the trash is the Beast Hunters Ratchet.
Well, hold on. Well, hold on.
Oh my god,
Hold your horses.
Its first deployment seems to have yielded mixed results.
I'm a medic, not an inventor.
Well, I guess we should also talk about the Hunt Go Decepticon Ratchet.
Okay, I don't know about that one. That one is strange. Here's what I'll say about the Beast Hunters Ratchet. It is directly inspired by Dinobot 2 from Beast Wars.
That's why I don't like it, because I just can't imagine Prime Ratchet ever looking like this.
It's not that high, but it deserves kudos for being a cool homage.
I apologize.
Come again?
I'd probably put the green one in a lower tier.
Now let's move on to a sequel design in the Robots in Disguise series, and a much more simplistic design. They changed that entire chest. We can still recognize it as Prime Ratchet, they've just made it more solid. Kinda gutted that they got rid of the heartbeat on the arms, but still, nonetheless, it's more apparent now that he's red. Yeah, that chest is so much better than the Pop-Up Universe one, and yeah, just overall, a nice design.
But there's something about the animation style where it looks cheap to me, the animation. But the designs are just so cool looking. I really like this. I like this almost better than the Prime Ratchet, to be honest.
Next up is the Tiny Titans card, where this is basically heavily G1 inspired, but in the RID art style.
That is Optimus Prime wearing Ratchet skin.
I kind of get where you're coming from, but I do like this design, though I will say it doesn't add anything new. It's not like it's not something we've seen before.
I agree.
Alright, next up we have the Transformers Universe MMO Ratchet, where it's more obvious that he is orange, and I just love this so much. So much better than Prime. Yeah, I love it.
I like this Ratchet design. He is very Prime Ratchet coded. He's got the antenna in the back, he's got the wheels for the feet. It's almost like Prime Ratchet, but he became a little bit more Bayverse.
Alright, next up we have Earth Wars, which is sort of essentially the Combiner Wars, so I'll combine them. I really don't like this design, it's just a bit jarring. It's like a worse version of that Tiny Titans that we just saw.
I really don't like the Earth Wars designs.
Ratchet?
Go away.
A much better design is Forge-Defy. I like the bulkiness, I like the vehicle mode, I also like the chest area, just looks really cool, a much more updated, modern G1 Ratchet.
Yeah, I like that Ratchet more. I like the bulkier look for him. His alt mode is just red alerts from Armadas.
I actually owned this.
Bruh.
I don't know why. I think my mum got it me because she felt sorry for me. In person, it was always pretty good.
I'll take your word for it. I think it looks like crap. And the thing I hate about these is that you have to rebuild them into the vehicle mode. They can't just transform. Death to all of them.
What's wrong with you humans?
No way you want to put it there. There's no way you want to put it there. Where would you put it?
I'll put it there. I'll put it there. I'll put
Okay.
it there. Alright, next up is one of my favourite Ratchet designs. It's the More Than Meets the Eye IDW Ratchet, and I just think this is fantastic. I love the detail around this. It's so insane, but I just love that head sculpt.
My only problem with the comics is that I don't want to say overly designed, but they've got a lot of elements to them.
Yeah, there's so many moving parts.
Yeah, when I'm reading the comic books, I have a hard time deciphering what is what. Like, it takes me a second for my eyes to really understand what I'm looking at. Not be my cup of tea design, but I gotta give the artists props. Huge props for drawing these designs so often.
I think it belongs in a master at work because they really do make them pop.
Yeah, it's still a cool design.
Alright, next up is the War for Cybertron trilogy, and we'll start off with Siege, and it's okay. I do kind of like the head crest being slightly large, but it just feels like a nothing design, and the battle damage just, I don't know, it just looks like bird shit. And it's pure white as well, which doesn't help. He should be a dark grey.
Yeah. Yeah, the battle damage could have weathered him a little bit or something. It definitely one of the weaker Siege figures, and I think Siege is a great line, but I think this is definitely one of the weaker ones for sure.
I guess I feel the same about the Earthrise version and the Shattered Glass. I just don't like the hood being part of the shield. If they did something more creative, then I would like it, but yeah, I mean, it's just nothing.
Yeah, it's not an amazing weapon. It's just pointy. This compared to 86 Ratchet is it's dog ass. So yeah, we can put it in a low tier.
Right, next up is Evergreen, and I don't vibe with this design. The way how it's laid out here does not make it look good. It looks a lot cleaner in Cyberverse, and yeah, I really don't like that torso.
So many lines. It's Evergreen. Why wouldn't you simplify it? Why you gotta add all this bullshit?
Hey, Ratchet, up top. Down low?
Alright, next up we have Cyberverse and Rescue Bots Academy, and I really like this design, a much more cleaner version of that Evergreen. I like the proportions, I like how it's done in 2D and 3D, and I like the wheels being on the back like that. Yeah, overall, a nice design.
I do like this a lot more than Evergreen. It's probably a tier above Evergreen for me. The connecting limbs, the lines, do you know what I mean? Where his leg meets his crotch, there's lines. I never got used to that. I don't know.
I'm gonna make that medic need a medic.
Come back during visiting hours, you big scrud.
We have the Transformers Online Chinese game, where these designs are very robust, and I really like a lot of these designs.
You know how everyone says that Shockwave has giant boobs?
Yeah.
I feel like this Ratchet has it, and I feel like G1 Ratchet kind of has it as well. He also has giant breasts. This is a fine design for me. I don't love it. I don't hate it.
You just turn around and bang, you got hit by Ratchet's boob.
yeah, right.
Alright, next up is the Bumblebee movie Ratchet, and I've got to say, it was love at first sight. He was the first character we saw, but over time, I kind of wish they did more, just to add, but I do like the simplicity of it. I do love the toy, even though I wish it was more of a solid figure. The head design is a little bit jarring up close, but I've gotten used to it over time, and I do wish that they made more of a distinct between him and Ironhide, because they are just direct copies. But to say they managed to get this done in a limited time, it's impressive.
Oh my god, I love these Bumblebee movie Cybertron designs. It's quite a strange face design. That's part of why I like it. They are just I love the bulkiness. I love the extra detail in between their armor pieces. It is G1 for sure, but it's also its own thing. It's not strictly adherent. I really like this guy.
Alright, next up, we have everyone's favourite, Angry Birds Ratchet. Alright, I'm going to give this a little bit of shit because it's basically just Heatwave with Ratchet's colours.
What is Angry Birds Transformers? When did this start?
Jake,
yeah.
Choose your words very quickly.
Am I going to anger the Angry Birds Transformers fandom?
You wouldn't dare do something that stupid!
I have been through it, my friend.
Oh no.
I have only just had my redemption arc, so do not fuck this up for me.
I love it. I love it. 10 out of 10. A master at work. Great job.
There we go. There we go.
Nice. S rank every time.
Alright, next up is sort of a disappointment. You're just kind of happy he's there. It's Ratchet in Transformers 1. We see him with Ironhide quite a lot. We didn't get to see him with his cog, so we don't know what his true form looks like, unfortunately. That is just something we're going to have to wait for in the sequel. Fingers crossed. But yeah, other than that, it's basically Ratchet.
I guess we could assume he just looks like Ironhide, right? Like,
yeah, actually thinking about it. And that was basically just for Bumblebee movie design. So yeah, they didn't really change anything there.
I don't know. I guess it'd be kind of low right now. I'm sure he looks cool with the cog.
You're about as much help as a cracked motherboard.
Now for our last Ratchet design, we have the Transformers Reactivate Ratchet, and I gotta say, I think we were robbed. I really do like this zombie-looking apocalypse Ratchet design. This is so robust, this is so heavy metal.
Monster truck ambulance goes hard. Well, I guess it's probably not a monster truck, but like a big pickup truck ambulance is pretty sick. And I like the bars on the windows, like on his chest, and yeah, he's very, very cool, very slick design.
Now let's move on to some fan art, because I want to celebrate all the great fan art out there. And first up, we have one of my favorite artists, Kairito10, who basically meshes all the best worlds of Ratchet from animated, movie, G1, and I gotta say, this is a brilliant combination. I love the buzzsaw, I love the claw from animated. This is just, to me, superior. And he's actually done some head variants as well, to our personal preference.
He does the type of artwork that could be in Transformers comics. Just like the Nick Roche style, very detailed, like very... You get a sense of the 3D-ness of it all. It is interesting how he tends to like combine all the universes into one character. It's pretty cool.
Our next fan art is by RF Daikozu, and this is what I was hoping that the War Within Ratchet would look like.
Yeah, I like it in the green a little bit more, to be honest. I'm kind of a greenhead. A nice big vehicle that has wheels and treads. Because that's how you know they're serious business.
Alright, now we've got a really sweet one by Terminus 1, and this is a female Ratchet, and I gotta say, I love how the skirt comes from the back of the character. Armored tank looks really cool. I like the battle mask that this Ratchet has.
Yeah, it's giving animated Red Alert, which I love. I love that version of the character, and I really like this weird vehicle it turns into, but I really think it looks cool.
Next up is one of my favorite artists. I love every design they do. It's On Get One, and I just love this Ratchet design. They just take the War of the Cybertron design and make something entirely brand new. It's got a similar vehicle mode, but everything about this is just fantastic. I love the different kinds of layers this Ratchet has.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is War for Cybertron Ratchet, but good.
Ooh.
Yeah, I really like it. I dig the look on this guy for sure.
Alright, next up we have Decepticon Naden, and I love this Ratchet design. It's like the IDW, but a lot more simplified, but in a good way, because it really shows off some really good areas around him, like the shoulders, and I like how he's got a waistcoat there. Yeah, I love this artist. Really fantastic work.
I love his style. He draws Transformers in such a cool way. I really like this take on Ratchet. He's giving a little bit older vibe, like animated, which I like. And it looks almost like he has a stretcher on his back.
Well, another one of my favorite artists is God of Creating, and this is... Wow, I love the proportions on this. I like how the shoulders, like the whole window section come over to the back of him. He's got really long horns. This almost a devil-looking Ratchet, but he's obviously here to save the day, I hope anyway.
I'm really dumb. I thought he turned into that suitcase next to him for a second. I thought
he might do.
No, he's got wheels on his shoulders. But he looks awesome. Really solid design.
Another good solid design is by Splat the Crystal, where he combines both animated with Bayverse, and it really works.
Yeah, he looks really cool. I dig the vibe. It gives me samurai vibes with like the coat and the head, especially the helmet, kind of gives me a samurai vibe. Well, I just like how they drew it with the thick lines I really like this art style.
I love how we've got Bumblebee TF's Ratchet, who is a female base, and then we've got familiar assists. You can tell that they are the same character, yet they are such unique and different sort of designs where you can kind of pick them out. And I like how Bumblebee TF has picked out the prime colors, and then you've got Ratchet from familiar assist where they've gone for something a lot different, a more of a cyan color, which I think looks really nice. A rescue bot, as it seems.
I get that. I like the coat too. I dig the vibe. Whenever I see a coat, I'm like, this would hinder the articulation.
Alright, next up we have Maxo Alpha, and wow, I love that G1 combination with the Bayverse. It really fits. I like the markings all over and the yellow. Just a really fantastic design. I'm not quite sure what he's doing here, but
I think that's a Mass Effect character. Yeah, I love the face design. It's like the perfect mix of Bayverse and G1. And the glasses are really cool. I really like the goggles or glasses.
Alright, next up we have a design from Primal, and I like that he's done something different and made Ratchet a helicopter. It works for the character so he can be fast on the scene. I like the battle mask and all of that. Looks really nice. Overall, a good solid design.
I really like the helicopter take on him. I love the chest. I don't even know how to describe it. Like his head is in the cockpit almost. Just a really cool armored look.
We've got two images here side by side. I just want to show the different sizes in proportions. We have Pyto XD, and then we've got Porygon Flygon, and I like how these two are both Ratchet, yet at the same time, as I mentioned earlier, you can tell that they are just different in size, and I like that we've got both female Ratchets here that just look really ready. I like the big shoulders that we have here on Flygons, and then when it comes to Pyto, I love the skirt, I love the ambulance vehicle mode. I just love these animated designs. I just think they're so sweet.
Yeah, I love the gigantic shoulders on Porygon Flygons. Just looks metal as hell. And Pyto, just a great art style, in my opinion. I really like it. It's like animated adjacent, but totally their own thing. And I like that they put ambulance backwards on the front of the ambulance.
Alright, next up for our final artwork, we have Cetrief TFK, and then we have the Wheeljack. And I think Cetrief has done a really great job here on combining the Prime Ratchet with, well, just looking very heavy bust, like very robust of a Ratchet design. Mixing in that Transformers Universe MMO design as well looks really sweet.
Yeah, it's an interesting color scheme for Ratchet, but I really like, you know me, I love wheels and treads on a vehicle. This is giving Energon Landmine a little bit for me, which I like a lot.
Yeah, I like the treads. Yeah, the treads are really sweet. The bright colors on the Wheeljack's design, I just love how glossy he looks. I love how shiny he looks. He just looks so beautiful. This Ratchet design is, yes, it's just simple but brilliant. I love everything about it. It's very just, I love his shades. He's got some really cool ass shades going off here.
He's a skinny Ratchet, the rare skinny Ratchet.
Well, because we love all of these fan art designs, they all belong in the highest tier because they are all a master at work.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone that dares to put pencil to paper is a hero in my book.
You ask me, it's all a waste of time. No bot ever saved anyone with art.
And there we have it, guys. Every Ratchet design ranked from worst to best. And I gotta say, my favorite design, I think you know it already. It's that High Moon Studios one. But what about you, Jay? What's your favorite?
Animated. Easiest question in the world.
Of course, as always, let me know what your personal favorite design is in the comment section below. I want to thank Dumb Jake for joining me on this journey. I can imagine you're pretty sick of Ratchet now.
Never want to hear that MFer's name again, actually.
It's been a pleasure. I've been watching you for a long while now. I'm so impressed with you. I think you're funny. I think you've got some great talent, and inevitable you were bound to be a part of my channel.
Let's start a band.
Well, what's your avatar? Is that a dolphin?
It's a dinosaur.
Mystery solved. As always, thank you guys for watching. I've been Coming in Cam.
And I'm Dumb Jake.
Not so dumb, but kind of dumb. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
Hey, can a bot get a stasis nap around here?